The bonuses were $129,000. Aren't we clever? Fight of the night was Aldo and Hominick. Knockout of the night was Machida. And sub of the night was Pablo Garza.
I wanted to ask you about the final round on Hominick, and if you can kind of comment on Hominick after all the adversity he faced throughout the fight, coming back and doing what he did in the final round.
Yeah, no, he was incredible. First of all, this takes nothing away from how awesome Jose Aldo is, and he'll be down here in a minute. You know, this guy is one of the pound-for-pound best in the world. I thought this. I said it before the fight that I thought this was going to be the fight of the night. I think this kid has a ton of experience, a ton of heart, and that he was going to come out and try to win that title tonight. And he put on a gutsy performance, man. You know, he's a tiny guy with a huge heart. It was an awesome performance, you know, and many of us, you know, many of you guys too have been around the fight business for a long time. That kid didn't want that fight stopped. I think the doctor did a great job tonight in checking the eye and making sure his peripheral vision was good. And then Hominick came out and went after it in that last round. It was awesome.
For Jake, please. Jake obviously came up a little bit short tonight, but can you talk to us about how you felt in there, how you felt the fight played out?
Yeah, obviously I'm not happy. I mean, I went in there and came short. You know, I just George's great stand-up and kept me away. I couldn't get him down. He did a great job of stuffing my shots. So I guess I got to go back, work on my boxing, and get better. And hopefully, before I retire, I'll get another shot.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the game plan going in? Because as you said, it didn't seem like you were working for the takedown maybe as much as we thought you would. And were there any adjustments made as time went on, or was it just plan A the entire time?
You know, I wanted to take him down. I don't know. He stuffed my first couple shots, and I don't know why I started boxing him. I should have started shooting. It just, you know, it's easy to look back now and be like, man, I really screwed that up. But you know, George is a great fighter, so he fought great. He was so evasive. I couldn't get out on him, and he did a great game plan.
And you did end up claiming a couple rounds on the scorecards. Did you feel that had happened, or were you? Did you think you'd been shut out?
I felt like I had took 2 rounds, but I wasn't really sure. You got to watch it to know. I don't know, you know.
Let me see. Randy has been taken to the hospital for a checkup. You know, he got his head kicked off. You know, he went in there to get his head checked out. He thought he got hit with a punch.
Did he get a tooth knocked out tonight?
Yeah. Well, I went up into the octagon and talked to him. I said, "You all right? You all right?" You know, and he says, "Yeah." He says, "Yeah, he hit me in the tooth, and his tooth fell out while he was showing me." I said, "That's all right. We'll get you a new one, a better one than that, when we get back to Vegas."
Did you catch the tooth, or did
I tried to catch it, but he got it. Thank God.
he caught it?
Yeah.
So he still had the reaction to catch it. What was your thoughts and maybe your emotion when it was over and the fans were screaming for him, and it just seemed like the whole place was trying to tell him what it meant? How did you feel watching a guy that you have such respect get that moment?
No, it was awesome because before you know, the pre-fight press conference that I did with you guys, I said, you know, I don't think we celebrate Randy Couture enough. You know, this guy, everybody went crazy when George Foreman knocked out Michael Moore at his age. He was on the cover of everything. This guy's 47 years old, and he's still fighting with these 20-something-year-olds. He still trains with all these guys. He's an amazing human being. And, you know, to see him, you know, I think, you know what I was saying before the fight, you know, I think Randy should retire too. It's a perfect time to retire. He went out on a high. You know, he went 7 minutes with Machida. It's still a big deal when you're 47 years old. I was just signing autographs with the fans, and my back is killing me, man. And I'm 42. So to go in there and fight Machida at 47 and to be able to do the things this guy can do, he's an incredible human being. He's been a great ambassador for this sport. He's been incredible for the brand, and yeah, I love Randy Couture.
3 quick questions. One, and I apologize for this one, could you repeat the numbers again, please? I was still trying to hook up my machine.
Glad you asked, because I screwed it up the first time and I wasn't going to correct it. Canadian, 11.5 million. US, 12.075, not 12.75.
Just a question with regards to the main event. Some some boos in the crowd. Were you at all disappointed at that result? It was a tough act to follow following the Dominic Aldo fight, but and a follow-up to that, do you think any criticism of George's inability to finish again, going to a decision, is warranted?
It was a great card. I mean, all these guys. The first 2 fights of the night, I go, oh man, that could be the knockout of the night. And then the next fight of the night, I said, oh, that could be the submission night, which it ended up being submission night. And the card was great all the way through. Listen, one of the things that if you watched Prime Time and you educated yourself during this fight, this guy's no joke. This guy's been unbeaten for a very long time. 6 years, 15 straight fights. He comes out of a very serious camp. All the guys in that camp are champions. And George St-Pierre knew what he was up against tonight and got ready for it and trained hard. And do I wish that there was fireworks and these two were standing in the middle of the cage, blasting each other, and somebody ended up, he got his back and somebody got choked. All that stuff's great, but that isn't, it doesn't always play out that way. And I know George is going to be the one that catches all this stuff, that he didn't finish another fight, but George is fighting the absolute best guys in the world.
A lot of electricity during the Rory McDonald-Diaz fight. I was curious to get your take on who you might have in mind for Rory's next opponent.
I don't know, but yeah, the kid looked great, and going out there and beating a kid like Nate Diaz it's tough to do, and he looked great.
Aldo, in the last round, you were on your back. Did you feel confident that you had won the fight, or were you somewhat exhausted towards the end of the 5th round?
I was very comfortable in the position. I knew that I won the first 4 rounds. I tried to secure a guillotine. I was unable to do that, so I was just holding on and to finish the fight.
Quick thing for a couple of the guys. Ben, yesterday at the weigh-in, a little overweight. You had to cut a little bit extra. It seemed to have no effect on you in the cage today. How did you feel?
I felt great. Just had to lose extra little half-pound. Took me like 15 minutes to get it off. Sucks just because it took me 15 minutes to get rehydrated, but it was no problem and no effect in my fight at all.
And finally, quickly for Jose, obviously from what I've seen, probably the toughest fight of your career. Does it make you kind of rethink your position as the champion, knowing you're going to have some tougher challenges now that you're fighting inside the octagon?
No, I don't feel that at all, because every one of my fights are difficult. I respect all my opponents, and I prepare for all of my fights the same way. So I think this fight tonight just showed that I'm not only a guy that can knock people out quick, but I have the heart to go all 5 rounds and still hold on.
Jake, did you know that GSP's eye was bothering him that much?
I saw it swell up a little bit, but I didn't know he couldn't see out of it.
But... In your opinion, what exactly happened?
I punched him in the eye.
Sounds pretty accurate.
Can you tell me what the status is, how you view Strikeforce fighters like Nick Diaz? Could you bring him over here to fight George if you wanted to? Or do you wait until his contract is up? How does that work?
I imagine I could do whatever I wanted to do if I really wanted to, but we have a contract with Showtime, and he's a Showtime fighter, so I don't know, we're gonna have to see how this whole thing works out. But that's an interesting fight. Jake said he'd like to see it.
And if I could just ask Lyoto a question. That front kick, does he come into a fight with that in his arsenal? Or did he just see that the moment was right, or did he do it by instinct? What was the thinking behind it?
I trained this kick a lot, I've had it in my arsenal, and I just had to wait for the right moment to pull the trigger and utilize it.
I want to thank all the people in Ontario that made this happen, all the people that flew in from all over the world, all of you media. There's a lot of media here tonight, all the media in Canada. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. This is a big night for us, and we really appreciate it. Have a great night and be safe. Thank you.
Brought to you by Star's UFC Best of 2010 DVD, highlighting the biggest fights, the biggest moments, and the biggest year in UFC history. Available on Blu-ray and DVD now.